Mr. Kern, it was mentioned, I talked a little bit about 1075 TIF on land in Jerome. You want to do a better job than I did at explaining what a TIF is, why they would do it, and how long it lasts.
Yeah, actually, you did it. You did it really well from that standpoint. But typically, what you're looking in is doing is the tax increment financing is to encourage commercial development. And you know, for example, Jerome Grand is considered commercial. But when I say commercial, it's businesses, whether it's warehousing, whether it's office buildings or whatever mixed use it needs to be, is to encourage something that generates jobs. And so Dr. Marshausen mentioned the city of Dublin. The city of Dublin has done that well. Most of our, except for one, is what's called a non-school TIF. And so we get all the additional revenue that are additional, the revenue that we're supposed to on for those parcels that fall within that TIF. The one exception in the city of Dublin would be the Bridge Park area in the agreement. And that's an area where we're receiving property taxes of about 100,000 only. And now, as part of that development, and I don't think that development gets done unless there is the TIF on there, and we receive a compensation agreement, approximately exactly 1.5 million for the next 30 years, or for a 30-year period. So that explains kind of the city of Dublin. But when we talked about TIF, the 1075 TIFs, it's a tool to incentivize commercial development typically, but it can be for residential, unfortunately. But a 1075 TIF is a 10-year and 75%, where 75% gets diverted into, like Dr. Marshausen said, to pay for roads, water, sewer, and for example, and that. So into a TIF fund. So Jerome Grand, for example, that property is a 1075. And there's no approval on their school boards for that. The Bridge Street Agreement, yes, required board approval, but for 1075, it's in state law, and the township is allowed to do that without our approval, just to notify us is their only requirement. And so for that particular parcel of property, it generates for school taxes approximately 1.4 million annually. And so we get 25% of that. Which is around 350,000, but the other 75% goes into the TIF fund, which is approximately $1 million, a little over, then to reimburse either in some instances, in this case, it would be Schottenstein Realty Group who developed that area, or it's the local jurisdiction if it's a township or city or whatever, if you're looking at different areas of the state or within our boundaries.
Thank you. So when I say sometimes that they're diverting money from classrooms to build roads, that's pretty accurate. They're taking money that we could have used in the classroom and we're building a road with it, or putting in infrastructure.
Yep. And it's good if you're creating new jobs, right? It's better for the area, and it's good for the local economy. And it's good for everyone when you're creating jobs, but not when it's necessarily a residential type of place.
Thanks, Brian.